Coming up will be the 3000-meter steeplechase. That long jump by Devers, incidentally, was the third longest in the United States in '86. 21.6 3/4. All right. We have only 3 men entered in the 3000-meter steeplechase. In lane 1 is Rodney Mahorter of USC. In lane 2 is Tom Gruey of UCLA. And then in lane 3 would be Jim Ortiz of UCLA. You see the collegiate record, the meet record by Junkerman. Gruey of UCLA and Ortiz of UCLA. And the lone Trojan is Rodney Mahorter. 3000-meter steeplechase. The meet record 8:51.55, set by Junkerman of UCLA.
Again, a very big moment for the Trojans. Mahorter needs to get in and break the Bruins up here. He was second in this meet last year, Tom. He upset the form sheet. He needs to get at least a second this afternoon. The Trojan coaches, of course, hope that Rodney Mahorter can upset and win this race.
As this event starts, the UCLA men lead the USC men 26-10 after 4 events, and the 3000-meter steeplechase coming up. I indicated 7 laps around for 3000 meters, but it's a bit more than 7 laps.
It's about 7 1/4, Tom. There are 4 hurdles and a water jump, each 3 feet high, that have to be negotiated on each lap. The water jump is 2 feet 6 inches deep at the barrier, and it slopes to the ground level about 12 feet beyond the barrier. Tom, the runners don't have to clear the water. They may clear the hurdles in any fashion they wish. They can western roll over the hurdles if they want to.
Ortiz is the man in front, and Gruey is running second to him. And of course, the only Trojan out there will be, you'll have to be looking the other way not to identify him, Mahorter.
Tom Gruey moving into first. Jim Ortiz in second place is a sophomore from Barstow. He's the brother of Steve Ortiz, and Steve Ortiz holds 4 Bruin distance records. He's probably the greatest Bruin distance runner of all time. That's his brother, Jim Ortiz, in second place. Tom Gruey leading.
Well, we've been talking about the steeplechase. The pole vault's been going on. Richards, Johnson, and Klassen have all cleared 16.4 and 3/4. Although I think it took Richards 2 vaults to do it. He failed on the first attempt, but we'll keep you apprised of that as this dual track and field meet between the Trojans and the Bruins continues here at the Coliseum. Prime Ticket covering it for you on a mostly blue sky afternoon. Bright and breezy, some sunshine. We've got 6 laps to go, and Ortiz is leading. Vic Holchek, didn't Gruey run this very well when we saw him against Cal?
Yes, he did, and he ran 8:47.1 at Mount Sac last week. He'd run 8:57.3 prior to this year, so he's made a big drop, almost 10 seconds this year. Tom Gruey is a junior from Carpinteria, and he's doing very, very well. He's in second place now. Ortiz is leading.
And running in third place is Mahorter of USC.
Rodney Mahorter is a transfer from Occidental. As we said, he was second in last year's meet. His other PRs, he's run a 4 flat 1,500 meters. He's run a little under 15 minutes for the 5,000 meters, but he's a quality runner, and the Trojans desperately need a second place at least from Mahorter in this event.
8:47.1 is Gruey's best, although Ortiz continues to lead. And Ortiz at 8:55.2, that's his best. And Mahorter running in third. Indeed, Ernie Bullard would love to see him get in the middle, if not first place, as the Bruins have a lead of 16 points after 4 events in the men's competition. Through 800 meters now, the elapsed time 2:41.7 through 800 meters. Remember, they're going 3,005 laps to go as they go over the hurdle in front of us. And again, Ortiz leads. Gruey is running in second place, and Mahorter running third. They're still very close, and it's, of course, much too early to call. Dwight Stones is in the infield, and let's check in with him.
Tom, Gail Devers was unbelievable in the women's long jump. She improved by 13 inches in the 4th round and really put the onus on Wendy Brown, who had a better personal record coming into the meet. She passed her last 2 jumps because of the fact that she just has so many events she's going to be doing today. She wanted to save as much energy as possible. 21.6 3/4 was her final result. It was a legal jump, and she is now going to go head-to-head with Wendy Brown in the triple jump. And I've got to tell you, putting it to Wendy Brown like that in the very first event of 4, which they will be competing against directly, really makes it tough for Wendy Brown to come right back on her, because she has improved so greatly. There's a very good chance that Wendy Brown's spirits will be a little bit depressed from her loss in the long jump. We'll have to watch the triple jump very closely, because as I said earlier, what happens between these 2 ladies in the field events could determine what happens for the dual meet score altogether. Back up to you guys.
1,200 meters have elapsed in the 3,000-meter steeplechase. The time 3:59.1, and we're coming up now with 4 laps to go. Ortiz leads. Mahorter has moved to 2nd place, and Gruy is running a very close 3rd. There are 2 Bruins and a Trojan entered in this grueling 3,000-meter event. And of course, the Trojans are hopeful that Gruy can pick up something other than 1 point. They trail by 10 after 4 events, and they could desperately use that 5-point first-place finish. But I don't know if Gruy and Ortiz are going to let Mahorter get up there and challenge for the lead at all. They have him boxed in, and they've taken turns now in leading, and Ortiz now on top by about 1 yard, and Gruy about 3 yards behind the leader.
Tom, you can see the Bruin strategy here. Gruy has the better kick. Ortiz is out. He's trying to take the race now. What the Bruins would like to see happen here is, coming off the last turn, Ortiz building a lead and Gruy jumping Mahorter for at least 2nd place. The Bruins want to go 1-2 here. Mahorter's going to have to be very alert to stay out of this.
Yes, he's going to have to be very lucky to be able to get 1st place, or very, very good, or as you say, very lucky not to get boxed in. Through 1,600 meters, 5:16.1, and now Mahorter's coming up to take the lead, and Gruy's coming up along with him.
Good move by the Trojan runner. Very smart move by Mahorter. This is just what he needs to do. He needs to go out and force the pace at this time.
3 laps to go, and forcing the pace is what he's doing, as he's taken the lead. And Gruy, who I think the dopesters would say is the better 3,000-meter steeplechase man than Ortiz, not to denigrate Ortiz's talents, which are considerable. But it does appear to be Gruy and Mahorter that are going to be battling for the finish, if Mahorter indeed is to challenge for the #1 spot. Remember, the Trojans are down by 16 points, 26-10 after 4 events in the men's competition. And the women's competition finds the Bruins have doubled the score on USC at 30-15 after 5 events. So here's Mahorter now in front of Gruy, and the 2 seem to now, in fact, he's widening his advantage as they come to the water jump. With a splash, he's about 4 yards in front, maybe 5. Gruy very close.
Gruy's right up on his shoulder now, but this could be a very emotional moment for the Trojans if Mahorter can stay in for at least 2nd place. Gruy realizing what Mahorter was doing. Gruy getting out there trying to take some of the kick out of Mahorter right here.
Speaking of kicking, why, Ortiz has kicked off both of his shoes. He's running barefoot on the track. 2 laps to go as they come across in front of us. Gruy in front. Mahorter, as they clear the hurdle, running 2nd. Ortiz, barefoot as he is, running a distant 3rd. And it would appear, unless Ortiz has a lot of kick left, that Mahorter could hang on to get 2nd. But boy, Gruy is certainly widening his advantage now, as he has taken a commanding lead here.
Ortiz is not out of this. Ortiz and Mahorter may have a real battle for 2nd place. Tom Gruy in the lead right now is 21 years old. He's a 5'7", 130-pound junior from Carpinteria, red-shirted for 2 years. He's had knee and foot problems, but he's on the comeback trail now. He could be very important for the Bruins in the NCAA championships. This is very impressive for UCLA and Tom Gruy. He's in very good shape now, obviously off of his 8:47.1 last week.
They come to the water jump, both clear it successfully, and then Ortiz. It'll cool off the tootsies a little bit for Ortiz, who's running barefoot out there, though it is not a warm day. In fact, it's a beautiful day for the spectators. The breeze may affect the participants on the field a little bit. We've got 2,400 meters in the book at 7:39.5. 7:39.5. Remember, the meet record, 8:51.55, set by Junkerman of UCLA a year ago. And as we go to the final lap, we've got Gruy in front, glancing over his shoulder to see where Mahorter is. And Mahorter is about as far behind Gruy as he is in front of Ortiz, as the 3 men are finishing the final lap here of this 3,000-meter steeplechase. Don't mean to argue with an expert, Vic, but I don't see how Ortiz can catch him unless Mahorter just suddenly quits running.
No way now. Mahorter definitely has second place. He's trying to kick now. Gruey's under very good control at this point. It looks like it's going to be, as you call it, Gruey, Mahorter, and Ortiz.
They're coming to the water barrier now, and of course Gruey well in front by 25 or 30 yards and is over easily. Mahorter comes to it and clears it as well, and Ortiz just approaching it now in third place as we're coming to the finish of the 3,000-meter steeplechase. Remember now, the meet record was 8:51.55. Gruey coming to the wire with a burst of speed will win it easily. No record in this event today. Mahorter will end up in second place for USC and will get 3 points. The unofficial time, 9:03 and 6. 9:03 and 6. Gruey's last lap was 1:10 and 4, which I'll tell you is tremendous when you consider going 3,000 meters and then do the last lap in 1:10 and 4. That's a real effort. Gruey, Mahorter, Ortiz is the finish, and unofficially again the time, 9:03.6. Well, for the Trojans, a very important 3 points. They were trailing by 16 at 26-10. Gruey will pick up, of course, 5, and a third place finish by Ortiz gives the Bruins 6 points in that event. The Trojans are getting 3. So it is now 32-13 in the men's competition. UCLA 32 and the Trojans 13 as Gruey adds a victory for UCLA in the men's 3,000-meter event, steeplechase. We're going to the pole vault, and the bar is going to 16.8 3/4. And before we check the vaulters, let's go to Dwight Stones.
Large 41 feet 11 inches.
We were going to have Dwight visiting with Gruey, the winner of the 3,000-meter steeplechase, and we will get to that in just a bit. Our technical problems have been corrected. Let's again go to Dwight Stones.
Tom, you're still breathing a little bit heavily. You look like you controlled that race very, very well, though.
My plan was to really take second place, but as soon as Jimmy Ortiz lost his shoe, I had to go out and go for the win because we didn't want to give those 5 points to SC. But basically, because of Mahorter's PR was so much slower than Ortiz and mine, we really knew we had the race under control.
Does that hurt you when your race plan gets upset like that by something like Ortiz losing his shoe? Does you have to reorient yourself to the way you're going to run the race personally?
Not really, because if you're a good athlete and you're used to these kind of situations, you got to know that nothing's predictable, and you just have to do what you have to do, regardless of the situation, however it changes.
What about the wind on the backstretch? It seems to be gusting very, very heavily. As the race goes on, those barriers have got to look a little bit higher than 3 feet.
Yeah, they feel about 4 or 5 feet. You really have to accelerate into them to get over them. It really takes a lot of concentration in the latter stages of the race.
You ran a fine race, Tom. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
We're going to have the women's 4x100 coming up in just a bit, and we'll get to that as Prime Ticket continues coverage of the Trojans and the Bruins. We'll be back right after this important message.